we're back. All right, so that's it for Marvel. There's a lot of books that are still coming out, and we'll talk about those in the future. We told you about the best ones that we've read so far.
Yeah.
And now we're going to talk about Image books.
Look at all this Image.
Man,
And
much
Dark Horse.
Dark
And
Horse.
some Dark Horse.
And some Weird Love by
And
Yo Comics.
IDW.
Yeah.
We're going to go indies. We're gonna do some sexy indie.
Yeah.
All right, so what have you guys been reading?
Oh, man. Well.
You want to start?
Yeah, I know we've talked about Saga a lot in the past, but I picked up the, issue 29 and 30.
Which ends the latest cycle, and now they're on break.
Yeah.
While they are working on the next chapter.
And, man, let me tell you, so 29 got me, for sure. The ending of it, they're trying to get that dragon sperm to, help the will. And things go wrong, and I mean, it's just brutal.
Yeah.
It's just really great.
Can we show this?
Yes.
Do you want me to
Yeah.
show that scene? Because here's the funny part. Fiona Staples actually put in an apology at the end of...
Don't apologize.
What did she apologize for?
She basically said, and it wasn't a real apology.
I'm
she was
sorry, I
she's like,
drew-
sometimes I'm very responsible for some of the things that go into the comic. That scene, that's all Brian.
Yeah, that's
that
not
was
me.
all his idea.
This is a dragon sucking his own dick, by the way, just in case you're wondering.
We love this comic.
It's so
wow,
good.
and that kind of stuff happens in Saga?
Yeah. There was
Okay.
a troll with giant weird nuts when they first started.
The thing about Saga, everyone talks about Saga, and they're always like, "Oh, it's so good, it's great." Even people that don't even read comics that much are into Saga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just from an outside perspective, there's nothing that I see in this that intrigues me. I know it's good, but nothing
Yeah.
that makes me want to read it.
Well, the thing that's so odd to me about Saga is I'm with you on that. I don't necessarily understand why I keep buying the. I mean,
Family drama.
But
it's
that's
a soap opera.
No, that's what I was realizing
Right.
after reading these. It's we come from a generation of divorce.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and this story is speaking to that child inside of you who experienced divorce, who has that thing that they hope their parents can make it work and stay together even though they're a mess, and that they, and they come unglued and their family falls apart. It's they're trying to hold it together, and there's something great about, getting to see someone else's family hopefully figure it
Right.
out. I mean, that's
And it's very real life growing pains that you see. And by the way, they're on the run because everyone's chasing them,
Right.
throughout the galaxy. But there are some really hardcore sensitive things that come up while they're just trying to work out the relationship of being a young married couple.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there are things that happen where he quote unquote accosted her when she had the groceries.
Yeah.
And that was a really scary thing because he himself kind of went, I would never lash out to my wife, physically, but he kind of slaps a bag of groceries out of her hands
Right.
out of
It
frustration.
gets a little
and she has to go fuck you, I gotta take a few days off.
Yeah.
You think about what just happened, what the whole point of that was. And I think, like you said, child of divorce, you've seen that stuff.
Well, and when you're
Yeah.
a kid, it's you can't even dare fantasize about your
No,
parents
you don't
getting
wanna
back
go there.
together because you don't want to feel that disappointment when it never happens, because it won't. But in this, it's you kind of you think maybe these guys can make it.
Because
I
it's
don't
called
know.
Saga. It's going to keep going. So
Yeah.
you're actually really... And because Brian K. Vaughan will kill off your favorite characters, don't get attached.
Yeah.
That you're not even sure that these people that you've been attached to since the first issue, that you've definitely gotten to know.
Yeah.
Maybe they do split up and now the comic starts following their separate adventures.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know.
it's I love in issue 30. I fucking cried at issue 30. I don't know. I was in a weird place and I was reading it and it just totally hit some things I was thinking about. But
So you're telling me really good family character drama.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
In space.
And fun fantasy weird nonsense. That's just what, a dragon sucking his own dick? That's
Yeah.
weird.
Prince Robot is a TV head.
But
but he's
Okay.
also a captivating character.
No,
Yeah.
good. I was just playing devil's advocate to find out
No,
what
that's-
is good about it,
it's-
to get you guys to
I've
answer
been
the
thinking
question.
about why do I like this, because it's I don't even understand exactly why I like all of this, but I
Right.
do. But there's one part in here where she says, or the child who's older is narrating, and they
Right.
say every relationship is an education. Each new person we welcome into our hearts is a chance to evolve into something radically different than we used to be. But what happens when those people disappear from our lives? And she's talking about her parents and stuff, and together my parents had learned to be much more than the sum of their parts, whatever that means. Separately, they were just kind of a mess.
Right.
And so they've been split up for a while. but they finally come back together, like Alana and I can't remember his fucking name right now, but whatever. They come back together, and it's just so touching, like the way they come back together. And she narrates and says, "There's no graduation from this kind of education. Couples just keep growing and changing until they either break up or die."
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, you got me so hard. And they're just like, and like the way Fiona, like, did this image of like her just like holding on to him, and they've just had such a hard time.
You can see both of them just letting go of like the weight of holding each other, like themselves up,
yeah.
and now leaning on each other again just on that image.
Oh,
that's
so
just goddamn amazing.
So beautiful.
Relationship goals, guys.
Man, really, really hot. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Love it. Print it, ship
and so
it.
we are waiting for the next thing, and like I said, there's some really great. It always moving forward every time one of the chapters ends. Mm-hmm. Like he gives you that one or two pages that totally sets up
the next,
and your anticipation for the next 4 months.
Right.
Waiting for. I mean, you're there for it. And there's some other stuff, dude. Brian K. Vaughan is killing it right now. He's also doing We Stand on Guard, which is a futuristic story that kind of also is a little bit like Red Dawn. And basically, the United States declared war on Canada. Mm-hmm. We're not quite sure why yet, but we're following this group of freedom fighters. And it's typical writing, taking the next evolutionary step. It gets a little political because it does talk about taking in POWs and like what's proper treatment and water, like things like waterboarding, like morally is that okay? Mm-hmm. But it also has giant fucking mecha robots. Yeah, like that's he takes these really great.
I'm interested in whatever idea could provoke a USA versus Canada war.
And we're still not sure yet.
That's quite a separate. That's quite a different future scenario than
it's pretty amazing. Now. And also the artist on that is definitely showing the brutality of war. Yeah. Like there's things that you don't want to think about, but then there's a random bomb, and you watch
how long is that
a
book
family
out?
Die. That's 4 issues in right now.
Okay.
And I think it's only limited to like 6 or 7.
Right.
And there's some, just Brian K. Vaughan. Just go. If it says BKV on it, go get it.
Yeah.
So what else have you guys been reading?
Yeah. What are you on?
Can I sell you on Beauty?
Yeah.
Okay. So Beauty is Image Comics. It's on number 3. It's Jeremy Hahn. And it's very adult themes. But the first issue.
Can't show that on YouTube.
Yeah. The first issue was maybe one of the best first introductory stories I've ever read.
Yeah.
And it could have been an X-Files episode, but it's not. Basically, it takes place in the situation where there's a sexually transmitted disease that has now permeated our society.
Yes.
But what it does is actually make you more handsome, wrinkles go away, like you lose a few pounds, your immune system's amazing. It makes you a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And now you've got this thing where people are actively out there trying to catch this disease.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. It's such a great, amazing concept.
Will it boost my immune system?
So
I'm in.
So it's like you on your best day.
Yeah, but I mean, like if I caught the beauty, like I'm obviously beauty free right now, but if you catch the beauty, like I would be the best version of myself.
Right.
And
are there any negative consequences?
You run a slightly high fever, but no one really complains about it.
Well, Kirk, you're looking pretty good today with the lighting that I set up here.
Yeah, you actually nailed this. So I think the Doom helmet's kind of working in my favor. But but it follows 2 detectives, and what we are finding out is people with the beauty are now suddenly like imploding and dying.
Okay.
And it starts getting into this really great concept of maybe someone created the cure, but they don't want the cure released because they'd rather have medication that you buy for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
There's always a downside to those
things. Like all the government conspiracies and who's really in charge. And issue 3 actually like introduces, we're not sure if he's an assassin or like a serial killer going after people with the beauty. But there's also like this really great soap opera aspect because one of the detectives is married and wakes up one day like after like a night with his wife.
Yeah.
And now he realizes he's got the beauty. Uh-huh. And he's in a monogamous relationship.
Right.
So was his wife cheating? Right. Or did she already have it and he never looked at her like that way?
Yeah.
Interesting. I cannot speak highly enough for The Beauty by Image Comics.
Oh, wow.
Please, go
I'm
get this.
I'm definitely going to go pick that up
and
next time I go.
How many issues are we on with that one?
That one's 3.
3, okay.
And I mean, the art's fantastic. The writing is spot on. I am always really about dialogue that helps you instantly recognize who and what the character is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this art.
These guys nail it.
I like this clean art.
Yeah.
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 She said it doesn't get crazy.
Excellent.
Nice,
Excellent.
clean panels.
All right.
excited.
So how about
read
Plutona?
that?
I read the first issue. I have not
Jeff
read the
Lemire.
second. Yeah.
He's also doing that X-Men title we were talking about a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And
Which wasn't my favorite, but whatever.
Jeff Lemire is doing a lot of stuff. You had design problems with Magic's bangs.
It was funny because our intern
Laughed
Ona
her
came
out.
over and she was like, "Oh, it's like Ona but Plutona."
And she was wearing a red
And
beanie.
she
and
looks
her hair
exactly
looks
like that.
It's
Oh, how
really
weird.
funny. It was
Her
really
hair is
funny.
that color. She was wearing a beanie that color.
Yeah, it was really funny.
That's basically her.
So Jeff Lemire
Except
is
she's a
doing
little taller.
the new Hawkeye series.
Uh-huh.
He's all over the place with his indie books. And
Yeah.
so he's writing amazing superhero stories and he's writing amazing indie.
Yeah.
Jeff, with Plutona, it's almost like Lumberjanes, and that kind of like feeling, but also with
Well, it's
a
like
very mature concept where these kids kind of like Stand By Me.
Yeah, Stand By Me,
Totally
but
feels
with
like Stand by
Yeah,
Me.
yeah.
You get these kind of grade school, like junior high kids that find the dead body of a superhero in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is trying to find out what they're going to do next, what the next step is.
Right.
Each issue also has a backup story of Plutona before the whatever happened.
Right.
And so quickly does he identify who these kids are, because you've met these kids in school growing up.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It
Yeah.
is absolutely beautiful. Also, I want to give a shout out. Jodie Belair is a colorist who's working her ass off in comics right now. And her color work and her work ethic and the stuff that she's on, it's okay.
Anyway, you're appreciating a colorist, so
yeah,
it's
so
got to
if
be
Jodie Belair's
good coloring.
name is on a comic, I'm going to buy it.
Why do you like this coloring as opposed to other coloring?
Because she actually has a bunch of different styles and she can go back and forth depending upon what the tone of the comic is.
And what does this style do for you?
It's very sweet. It's very light. Like I said, it just kind of relates to the tone of the story, like the whole 80s Goonies.
Yeah.
The kids are
Puts
kind
you
of
in the
smarter than the
mood.
adults. Yeah.
Puts you in the mood of it, okay.
And it never as a colorist made me go,
Well-
awesome, I'm going to go buy that comic.
Yeah.
She's doing it.
Yeah. No, there's a couple colorists that, like, Dean White.
Well,
in the house.
what's
But,
the art style and the coloring together is giving you
the one thing
the right mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm interested in with Plutona is, okay, so her name, the superhero, dead superhero they find, her name is Plutona. Well, Pluto is associated, the planet is associated with the underworld.
Okay.
And, Pluto, like, death, sorts of things. So I wonder if she's dead, like, is she going to come back to life or something?
Is it like a
is
phoenix
you
sort
know,
of thing?
like, is it a resurrection thing?
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much.
No, I mean, I think that's awesome.
But it's like Plutona, and then he has the sign of Pluto, like,
Right.
not that stupid PL sign. That's such a crappy planetary sign. This is way cooler.
Given how great Jeff Lemire has been in all his writings and all his titles, he's done his research. So there's
Yeah.
definitely meaning behind it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad it's not just some sort of like non sequitur, like, oh, that's just a cool concept. Let me put it on the comic book.
Right. I wonder.
You know?
I mean, she's dead, and maybe it's just like it just means that, like, oh, Plutona, like they
Right.
find, it could be just like a double entendre or.
And there's
whatever,
there's
but-
cool stuff like one of the kids just goes, no, we should take pictures of the dead body and put it on the internet because
Yeah.
then we'll be internet famous.
Yeah.
And like, I just kind of like the fact that right away that's a thing today.
Yeah.
Like, are you morally responsible enough to like not do something like that just for the
Right.
sake of
Like,
notice me?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that was interesting. I've been reading Fight Club 2. You haven't done any
I
Fight
have
Club
not.
2. You're holding off on it. I
I'm not-
understand.
let me just preface this right now. I'm sure it's awesome.
Yeah.
The book had a perfect ending. The
Right.
movie had a perfect ending. I don't need a sequel.
I
That said,
I get where you're at.
That said,
said-
you don't know if you need a sequel until you read it. I read issue number 1, and I'm totally in.
Moby Dick did not need a
Totally
sequel.
in.
Well,
Watchmen
okay.
was perfect. It didn't need
No,
prequels. I just
no.
can't.
Kirk.
Here's my I get where you're coming from because I felt the
Okay.
same way. I
Okay.
felt the same way.
And let's put this out there. I mean, this art does look beautiful.
Well, it's Cameron Stewart,
This looks beautiful.
Which, I don't know. I kind of like Cameron Stewart's more simplistic style. But whatever. He's doing a little
Right.
bit, something a little bit more crazy.
David Mack cover art. Holy
yeah.
shit.
So nice. David. I actually talked to David Mack in fucking Manila. He's so cool.
Awesome.
Super nice dude. Anyways, Fight Club 2. The reason, the story's great. I've been
Okay.
really enjoying the writing. It's fantastic. But more than that, the thing that I really like about Fight Club 2 is, so when Fight Club came out in 1999, you had a whole slew of movies coming out about questioning reality. You had American Beauty.
Right.
You had The Matrix. You had all these things about questioning our perceptions of what reality is and how are we being manipulated and who's manipulating us for what ends. You know, it's like an awakening. But the thing is like then, after you had those movies come out in 1999, you had 9/11 happen, in 2001, and after that, all of the questioning of our reality was ceased and halted. It was all about, America and patriotism, and there was no more questioning of what was going on. And so I feel like that's something that really upsets me, is like, I saw that we were going in this direction in 1999 that was like really positive. I'm like, yeah, we should be questioning things. Mm-hmm. And then that got stamped out. And Fight Club 2, I feel like, picks up, it's like we need this reinvigoration of that same message, because that message that they had in 1999 is even more relevant today.
Yeah, what you're saying is the topics that were being brought up in 1999 were snuffed out after 9/11, and then now it's time to bring these things back up.
Right.
It's creeping back, and it's more relevant than ever before. All of the questions that were coming out.
Sure.
And I mean, from what I have gleaned, because I'm not going to say this is what I don't know.
Yeah.
But from what I have gleaned, the art and the way they've chosen to depict some of the art is helping further tell the story. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that's really cool that you couldn't have done in the book.
It's grown on me. I do love Cameron Stewart, but this isn't my favorite iteration of his style.
Because he's also a great writer.
But it's really grown on me, though.
Yeah.
I'm into it now.
This is cool. I'm into
issue number 6 just came out, so we're all it's like 10 issues I think total.
I read issue number 1 and I was totally into it. I'm gonna wait till the whole 10 issues come out before I finish it, because I want to have it all together at one time. It's flowing really good. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this one.
You have
the narrator.
The narrator.
We're just gonna call him the narrator.
And he has gotten married to Marla. They have a kid. They live in the suburbs. They have a normalson life, but he's on meds, to keep Tyler in control. Suppressing Tyler. Even though he still comes out and does this thing here and there, he's still kind of coming out. He's not. But she started cutting his meds to where he really got loose because she wanted to get laid.
She wants him back.
She wanted some hot sex. She couldn't. It's a hot fire. You got to touch that stove sometimes.
Yeah.
And she touched the stove, and kind of Tyler's kind of.
She really does miss the dishwashing glove.
Yeah. So so she kind of let him out, and now he's kind of run amok, and he has too much. He's got too much kind of power, and he's running amok.
That's good. Well, this is just be a teaser for Fight Club. I want to talk about it, possibly in a proper video about it.
Okay.
I'm excited about this, because I've wanted to review Fight Club for a long time now, so it's exciting that this is coming out, and so it'll probably be a good time.
Absolutely. No, when this is wrapped up after issue number 10, hopefully it has a great ending, which so far it's good. Yeah. So far I'm in. We're over the hump, so it's I'm still in. So hopefully it doesn't blow up in the last 4 issues. I'm not going to take anything away
from it, just for my own personal experience.
No, I understand.
Just for my singular experience that I had with Fight Club.
So let's move on to the next one.
All right. Let's see. What else we got going on?
Tyler goes back away for a little bit.
All right. I accidentally bought 2 number 2 issues of Tokyo Ghost.
You didn't get number 1?
Thanks so much, comic book shop, for fucking looking out for me. It's 2 different goddamn covers.
It's their responsibility to let you know if you're buying the right
one? Yeah, kind of. If you're going to trick me with 2 different fucking...
I've had this experience before.
That's not their fault.
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes it's you saw me have 2 number 2s.
No, it's you saw me, and we're friends. We talk.
Yeah, but
I'm going to be back in here.
These days, every comic has 10 variant covers. They probably thought you wanted one for the collector value.
Why the fuck would I want a fucking variant cover?
They're supposed to know you.
Because plenty of people come in.
They're supposed to know me.
Customer familiarity. Come on.
They're supposed to know that I would never... That's against my sensibilities.
The red flag should have gone off. No, I know this reader.
No, I'll tell you what the guy was thinking. He's oh wow, she really is into this. She wants a collection version, and she wants one to read.
Give me a fucking break. No. Yeah. So I read number 2, not knowing that it wasn't number 1. Okay. So I'm not sure what I missed exactly.
Number 1 you missed pretty much. Okay, Rick Remender, by the way, and also
Sean Gordon
Murphy. Yeah. Who I fucking love his art, so I'm so glad these guys are collaborating. And basically, you're looking at these 2 constables, a girl and a guy. Mm-hmm. And hello, Beans, how are you? Thank you for adding to the ambiance. And they are in the future. Way to rub into the mic, Beans. They are basically kind of working off a debt. They have a deal that once they're done and they've kind of done their job as constables, they get out. Yeah. But the whole society it's very much commentary on how we are with our computers and our cell phones, and our attention spans are dying, and we've always got things in front of us,
as real life is getting shittier and shittier, people are retreating into technology, and
we're getting addicted to smut and just any dumb stupid idea.
Idiocracy.
I'm telling you, it's coming true. It's coming true.
Every day. Every goddamn day.
But the art's also really great because, I mean, you've got him riding this giant fucking motorcycle called Zeus's Dick. And I'm sorry, but I'm all about that.
Zeus's Dick. There's this dick in here, by the way. There's
some adult themes.
Yeah, this isn't for the kids. But yeah, Sean Gordon Murphy, I mean, I'm a big fan of his art style. And I enjoyed the second issue. Like, I mean, I'll go back and get the first one and give it a shot, give it a day in court.
And, like, these people don't know who they are. Like, everything about them is, they're, like, typical drugs now are, like, no, I haven't felt, like, genuine empathy in a while. Yeah. You got any drugs that make me do that? Oh. It's really cool.
See, I missed that.
Like, everything is pumped into them so that they can feel something. Yeah. Like, in the original Blade Runner book, we talked about an emotion box that you would set so that you could actually feel emotions. Imagine that, but in drugs.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, in this, they've been charged with going to Japan because apparently Japan actually has, like, clean water and, like, plants and stuff because I guess this world has been corrupted. And so they end up there in issue number 2, and it is indeed a verdant garden, but they also get captured.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I'm interested to see where this goes. Like, I'm not all in on it, but I love the art. You know, I'm a big fan of Remender. I'm a big fan of Murphy, so it's like I'll give him a little bit of a...
I'm just glad to see Remender, like, growing and telling original stories over at Image.
Yeah.
I'm going to be bummed to see him not working at Marvel for a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, he made a very creative decision for his family.
I get it.
I think it's awesome. I think it's fucking awesome.
It makes sense, you know, from a business perspective, because it's like he owns all of these IPs at Image. So, like, if somebody wants to option it, he gets money for that. And he also can possibly write for that and, like, make a bunch of fucking...
Why not?
Cash for his family.
Why the fuck not?
But whereas working for Marvel, you're going to get not a lot of money, and you don't own the characters.
It's work for hire. And on top of that, I think when you become one of the better writers at Marvel, you almost do yourself a disservice because now they require more time of you.
Yeah.
You got to do the summits. You got to do, like, the big, like, think tanks.
Right.
You have to, like, go to sets and talk to writers about what they're not getting right about certain characters because they do it like this in the comic as opposed to... Like,
you have to do whatever Disney makes a contract for you.
Think about how much time that, like, monopolizes of someone who just wants to be at a table and... tell a story.
If I were a writer, I would not want to do a bunch of media stuff.
You don't want to do media now. It's like...
But I mean, you see how it takes over. You definitely see how much time it starts to, like...
and it's a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy.
And you have to go to all those conventions, too. Yeah, when we were at all these conventions, I'm like, I wonder what the incentives are to get all these writers here. And
yeah. Although I will say...
Because it's exhausting doing that, especially when you're really trying to focus on your project.
Although I will say that I'm sure that a lot of comic book artists are down to, like,
some of them
chewing on that. Hey, she loves to chew on these XLR cables, man. It's like her favorite thing to chew on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy all new cables.
Way to go, Kat.
Thanks, Beans. Good job. Fuck, I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, something interesting.
Conventions, incentives.
Oh yeah, every time I've talked to a writer though, like, they're really good at talking. Like, I mean, obviously because you know they write, but like they're always so excited to talk to you. Like, I love talking to writers.
At Kamikaze, I got to meet Matt. While we're still talking about indies, I got to talk to Matt Hollinsworth for a hot minute, and he's writing "We Can Never Go Home" over at Black Mask, one of my favorite new studios right now. Check them out. But the series that he's writing is probably one of the best things I'm reading right now, and I was just so excited to, like, go up and go, dude. Thank you for the hard work. I really appreciate this. Yeah. And you can tell he was exhausted because he'd been with his publisher all day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just doing a con, man.
Just doing a con.
It's a lot.
And at the end, you could kind of see, like, this relief of, like, that one person to shake the hand, and he had a few, like, moments to go, thank you. Like, needed to hear that. It's been a really long con. Like, just great to... But he wanted to talk for a little bit.
Yeah.
But they were also kicking me out of the con floor, so...
Yeah.
We're closing up.
Damn you.
But yeah, that was just his very, like... Great to talk. Like, excited to talk about his
writers are the best, man. I mean, they're the best. Plus, they, like, I think that because they probably stay at home a lot and don't talk to people, maybe they're, like, excited to go out. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe they're excited to go to some of the cons. But maybe some of them probably fucking hate it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This is something... Now, I haven't read these because I need to get issues 7 and 8, and they didn't have the back issues.
I have them. I'll own them.
Good. Actually, yeah.
Cool.
They're gonna get them for me, but who knows when that's gonna be? So it's kind of like I've been holding off, but I'm looking forward to reading Low.
More Rick Remender.
Yes.
More high concept. More future.
Yeah.
Society that lives underwater.
Yeah, because the Earth has been poisoned.
Yes.
He's into poisoned, corrupted environments.
Yeah.
Well, even Oh no, that was Sean Gordon Murphy's writing.
What?
No, it wasn't. No, not Punk Rock Jesus. The one they did with like the merman stories that like never.
Oh shit! Yes.
But that was also like a corrupted future Earth.
That was Scott Snyder though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but still same concept.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
I like that guys go over to Image and they're like, what's the worst version of Earth that I can talk about in this story? Cool, we're gonna run with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the art in it, and I like the idea of like keeping. I guess if you boil the story down, it's about keeping faith in the face of impossible odds.
The main character is probably one of the most hopeful characters he's ever written.
Yes, absolutely, and I love that, like, because I feel
because bad shit keeps happening to her.
Yeah, and
like,
she
just
keeps pushing through, and it's like I feel like I don't know, I'm into that, like I'm into that philosophy, It's like always. Like, there's always a way, Like, we can always figure something out.
And on top of that, again, Remender is, I think, a really great sign of an awesome writer is somebody who knows how to write to his artist's abilities.
Yeah.
And with every artist that he's picked with all his projects, I also feel this way about Deadly Class. Mm-hmm. That he's writing to those guys very specific, like, strong suits.
And that's
each
so
title,
important.
each title actually feels very individual on itself.
Yeah.
Even though it's all Remender and there's like certain like running themes that kind of go through all his stories that are very common. But I mean, look at this.
Well,
this is just pretty.
In that book I was reading about the left-hand philosophies, it was saying that once you look at a man's works throughout his entire life, you will find same common themes no matter what.
Right.
Like you will find people explore. There are just certain themes inside of them that they have to explore their whole fucking lives. And
no, totally.
Yeah, and it's fun to see Remender's kind of peeking out. It's just like he's